My friends, there has been a lot moving among, below, and through us these past several years, hasn't there? A lot. Many of the things moving among and through us here at UUSM and beyond were not things we welcomed or chose. COVID, political polarization, instability, wars, loss, uncertainty. But other things moving among and between us here at UUSM we have welcomed and chosen. The renewal of our sacred space in this building, new staff, new and returning members, children, experimentation with worship, a period of intentional transitional ministry. As we near the end of this church year, it's worth pausing and reflecting on what we have done and what we have learned in our transition work so far. Since the fall, we have looked back at UUSM's history and heritage with an eye to understanding what we want to carry forward and what we want to leave behind, and what we want to heal. We've reflected on the current congregational culture and system so we have a better understanding of why we do the things we do, and what we might want to change as we move forward into the future. We have explored what shared ministry means here in the past and what it might look like in the future. In the process of all of this reflection and exploration, we have revisited old hurts and learned that there are many different perspectives and experiences among us. We have taken time to name and release what we're ready to let go of so we can move into the future we desire to create together. As we move intentionally into the future, may we build upon the past, but not be confined by the past. We are now at a point in the transition process where we are turning more deliberately toward the future. Reverend Terry and I have agreed to stay for one more year while you search for your next minister, who will start sometime after June 2025. To prepare for this search, we need to discern key areas of development that you want to undertake with your next minister. So this worship service and the community conversation that follows are designed to get us thinking about that together. So what are the things that have surfaced over this past year that can inform your goal setting for your next professional ministry? Here are some issues that we have most consistently observed and heard in our transition work thus far. The most commonly stated things people love about UUSM, past or present, are the welcoming, caring community, 1, children's religious exploration, 2, and 3, social justice and community service. People clearly still feel a strong sense of the welcoming, caring community here. That's very clear. But many of you feel less good about the other 2 that have been so important in the past. Many feel loss and concern about the decline in the numbers of children and families over the past decade or so. And it's important to note that it is not unique to UUSM. This is a national trend, so not something that just can be easily remedied, but worth thinking about. There's also an awareness that the congregation has turned inward over the past few years, disengaging from its work in the wider community and from UU interfaith and social justice networks. Many of you seem to feel this disengagement as a loss, but don't know what to do about it. Lack of volunteer capacity is also a critical factor here. Another issue we've identified is how much time, energy, and resources go toward the UUSM campus. The focus on the building, as it was known prior to the expansion of the campus, appears to have been a long-standing issue here, and it raises questions about the mission, vision, and purpose of this congregation. What and who are the buildings for? At present, there does not seem to be a clear collective sense of mission and purpose that could help with the decision-making process about what to prioritize. There is a history of painful departures with staff, many of which have been shrouded in secrecy, often because of employment law, but not always only because of that. And this has led to mistrust in the congregational system and an inability to all be on the same page about what happened, why, and what can be done to heal and move forward together. There is significant work to be done around building a culture and organizational systems of transparency, accountability, and trust at UUSM. And finally, there is confusion within the organizational system, particularly around administration and governance. Lack of clear processes and decision-making structures keeps us from being as effective as we might otherwise be. Now, please hear this. All congregations, like all families and groups, have issues. Some people feel uncomfortable about naming what's not working so well. They worry that pulling back the rug and naming some of the systemic issues will cause trouble or maybe discourage people from joining us and staying, turning newcomers or even ministerial candidates away. But the truth is, every congregation has things it needs to work on. If we're honest, we are all works in progress, individually and collectively. We don't have to pretend we have everything all worked out. Ministers know that all congregations have issues, and ministers want to serve congregations who are aware of their issues and committed to addressing them. It's a sign of health. So kudos to you, UUSM, for embracing this critical self-reflection and development work as a healthy and ongoing process. Because if we want to stay vital and vibrant as a community, we need to keep noticing where we get hung up and keep working to evolve and develop in line with our shared visions and aspirations. So let us call upon the Spirit that moves us, and let us call upon ourselves to imagine, to hope, to dream, and to do, so we move towards that future of our longing together.